At 20, Miyamoto became the first half-black Japanese woman to be named Miss Japan. Many cheered, but some Japanese complained that she didn't deserve the title. "I don't mean to discriminate," one post read, "but I wonder how a hafu can represent Japan." Another person expressed surprise, tweeting, "I didn't know Miss Japan doesn't have to be pure Japanese. What a shock."
What does it feel like when you hear from people that you're not Japanese enough?
Ariana Miyamoto says in her native land of Japan, most people see her as a foreigner.
My appearance isn't Asian, but I think I'm very much Japanese on the inside.
Miyamoto was born to a Japanese mother and an African-American sailor who left Japan when she was a child. In Japan, she's called a hafu, or half-Japanese.
I don't think the equivalent word for hafu exists overseas, but in Japan, you need that word to explain who you are.
In pictures from her childhood, with a friend, on the volleyball team, and in middle school, Miyamoto looks happy. But she says she was constantly bullied and called kurumbo, the Japanese equivalent of the N-word.
I didn't cope at all. I didn't tell my parents or my friends. I was the type to just keep it inside me.
After 2 years getting to know her dad in Arkansas, Miyamoto returned to Japan and dropped out of high school. Then one day, a close friend who was also mixed race killed himself, inspiring her to find a way to speak out for other hafus in Japan.
Miss Nagasaki.
At 20, Miyamoto became the first half-black Japanese woman to be named Miss Japan. Many cheered, but some Japanese complained that she didn't deserve the title. "I don't mean to discriminate," one post read, "but I wonder how a hafu can represent Japan." Another person expressed surprise, tweeting, "I didn't know Miss Japan doesn't have to be pure Japanese. What a shock."
What does it feel like when you hear from people that you're not Japanese enough?
I ran for Miss Japan expecting some criticism, so it wasn't such a big surprise for me. But of course, those kinds of comments don't make me feel good, so I try my best to turn them into positive motivations.
How much does Japan embrace diversity?
How should I put this? I think we have a long way to go.
In Japan, immigration is restricted to a trickle, and fitting in is often preferred to sticking out.
The general feeling here is that we as a nation have a lot of virtues and social cohesion because of homogeneity. The reality is, over the last 20 years, there's been a doubling of the percentage of the population that's foreigner.
Japan's government says just over 3% of children born here every year have a foreign parent or parents. In this crowded country, hafus are showing up on TV and in ads. We're in Shinjuku, the busiest train station in Tokyo. And when we look up, this is what we see, a Japanese-Italian model advertising for a Japanese department store. She's the face of a campaign, placing importance on Japanese traditions, and she's only half Japanese. Ian Herman is a hafu whose father is American. Teased as a kid, he turned to rap music. Now 16, he's just signed on with Sony Music in Japan.
It's fine to be different. And as long as you have your own pride, then no one can stop you. Girls love the hafu, so there's nothing wrong with that.
He says it's cool that Miss Japan is a hafu too, because she shows Japan can appreciate diversity.
We're all the same people, and we just grew up in Japan, so why not be called Japanese?
Miyamoto may be making the biggest strides for black hafus by challenging the widespread view here that lighter skin is more beautiful.
I don't think much has changed, but in the future, I hope to see Japan more like America, where mixed-race people are commonly accepted.
Do you have any advice for other young people who are feeling like they're not accepted because of their mixed-race background?
I want them to think it's okay to be who you are. So I'd like for them to believe in themselves and don't care too much about what other people say.